Well, good evening from the outskirts of Winnipeg. My name is Carl Krebs, host of Things That Matter. It's Monday. It's closing in on the 7 p.m. mark right now, and that means Moneymakers, the new series which I started last week. And we're still building our programming, but today I have some interesting insights to share with you about Moneymakers. Let's get the show started right now. Well, it's April 29th. We're closing in on the end of the month. I don't know what that means to you, but I remember that April can be one of those months. April showers, May flowers, all that stuff. Well, we're certainly getting our share of showers right now. Hopefully, the flowers will come. So it's Monday, and this is the second episode of Moneymakers. What's that about? What's Moneymakers all about? Well, two things for sure: things that make money and people that are making money. As I said in episode 1, I'm going to say it in this episode and probably for many more to come. If a second income is important, it's probably the most important right now. Our cost of living is going up. Our dollar just isn't going as far as it used to. And there's a lot of people with a lot of month end at the end of their money. And that means that it's hard to tie it off. And I want to share some insights, some experiences I've gleaned, and from experiences of other people. How is it that they are developing a second line of income? Now, that's important how you're going to do this, because you know and I know that there are only so many hours in a day, so many minutes in an hour, and so forth and so on. So if we can't stretch time, and we can't, is it possible that we could leverage time? What does that mean? Let me share something with you here. Hope you're going to be able to see it here. This is something I just wanted to share with you. And this is talking about the leverage factor. How do we leverage time? And I'm not sure it's actually going to come up. So there it is. Let me just share with you what this means. This is a quick little definition of time leverage, which allows So this is just an example of what I'm talking about, time leverage. That is, how can you get more done in the same span of time that you still have? We all have 24 hours to get it done every day. And if you had those 24 hours and you look at it as money, how do you leverage that money? Most of us today are working and we are trading time for dollars. That means I give my employer, you give your employer so many hours of the day, so much of your time, and he gives you so many dollars based on the time that you give him. That's a simple, straightforward, most typical example of trading time for dollars. Again, fixed number of hours in which you can do it, fixed rate of pay multiplied by the hours that you give this person or the company, and so forth and so on. You're working within strict limitations of how much time you can give them and how much they're willing to pay you for that time. But I'm suggesting to you, and what I've learned has opened my eyes up to a whole new way to make money: time leverage. That means that I can use my time, leverage it through the efforts of other people, and ultimately, I'm making money without working the hours because of the fact that I can leverage that time. I can stretch it. Other people working for me, other people helping me as I'm helping them to gain a new foothold on what it means to make money. So Today, that's the topic. How do we leverage our time? And it's going to involve a paradigm shift for a lot of us, as it did for me, to realize that there's something more valuable, something more powerful to be able to make money, and that is the ability to multiply myself out through the efforts of other people. This is not to say we're taking advantage of other people. This is to say we are giving them an opportunity to do likewise. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a sideline business that can work for you while you are doing other things. And I'm not going to suggest for a minute that this is a go-to remedy or solution. I'm not going to say that you should drop what you're doing and suddenly switch. It's possible to create that leverage income, that second line of income stream while you're still doing what you're doing. And it involves making better use of your time and not giving up that which pays the bills, pays the mortgage, and so forth. This is going to work sideline to what you're doing. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't come from a lot of money. I remember when I first found out how little money my dad made. And I thought, wow, how do we do that? How do we make it? My father at the time was earning somewhere around $4,000 a year. And we were a family of 5 at the time, 6. And I thought, how does my dad make it work? Because even as a kid, I thought, my dad works long hours, but then he worked even longer hours. He would take on second and even third jobs to earn that little bit of extra money. My dad was a hard-working man, hardworking. He worked hours after hours after hours, but he still had, like you and I, the same 24 hours to get it done. Now, some part of that requires us to sleep. So let's take 8 hours out of that. And then there's something called a job, a job. That's your main line of income. But my father worked on his days off. He did gardening. He did all kinds of other things to earn a second line of income. He worked on the weekends as a music man for a music service, a tape man, essentially. And although he enjoyed it, I can tell you it came at great sacrifice, because the money that he was earning there eventually was clawed back through taxes and other things. My dad worked very hard for a disproportionate return on the time that he spent. And I'm suggesting to you what I know to be true, not because I have achieved it, because the people that have come into my life have shown me by their lives that there's another way to leverage your time. There's another way to make money, and that's by leveraging your time. So that is to say, if I can be successful at doing something, at offering a product or service, and it's successful, then when I share with other people that they become successful, I get a small piece of their action. And they in turn shared with other people, and so forth and so on. So if you're thinking pyramid, call it that. But I can tell you the entire world is built on a pyramid. If you talk about pyramid selling, first of all, pure pyramid selling is illegal in any country you go into. So we're certainly not talking about pyramid selling. What we are talking about is leveraging of time and establishing a network of agents, a network of people that are doing what you do and building their own network and their business. And contrary to misbelief, it's important to debunk the notion that those people that get involved with a product or service at the inception, at the early part, are the only ones that make money. That simply is not true. It's not true. And in the weeks to come, I'm going to be introducing you to some people that are part of my life, part of my support line, and they will tell you straight up that although they make a lot of money, there are people that they have introduced to products and services who are doing the same and making far more money than they're making. That's the power of leverage time. And I know some of you are thinking, I'm stuck. I'm in this job. There's only so far I can go. There's no room for me to advance. I can only hope that by some miracle, by some grace, by some fortune, my boss, my company is going to choose to pay me more per hour. But the thing that doesn't change is the number of hours that you have to give to them. And I'm suggesting to you, if you get outside of that box, If you do a paradigm shift in your thinking and find out what is available, you will be surprised to see how this all works together. It's been a change in my life that I never thought. I spent years and years in the car business, and I was successful in that. I was successful in, in long distance trucking as well, but still came down to the number of hours that I can make available and the opportunities, because I have some pretty stiff competition. In any industry, you're going to have stiff competition. You're going to have competitors that are coming into your line of travel, and they're going to make it challenging at best and hard at worst. What I'm suggesting, if you can locate a product or service that is truly proprietary, one that gives you a unique advantage in the marketplace, one that nobody else occupies, nobody else has this product, nobody else has this service, then you've got something unique. And for me, when I discovered the company of LifeWave, I knew I had come across something I'd never seen before, something that was truly beneficial to all of mankind. I have finally been able to locate a product and service that squares with my moral beliefs, with my code of conduct, with my integrity. And when I saw that product and that service, and I saw how unique it was, it immediately came to mind that there is a unique business opportunity here as well. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. And in a few minutes, I'm going to bring on a friend of mine, someone who is in the same essential line of business that I am, that is trucking, who's looking to make his shift. Because we can all do what we have to do until we can create the opportunity where we can do what we want to do. It's important to differentiate. How much of what we're doing is because we have to do it under the feeling, under the notion, under the compelling belief that there's nothing else out there. Well, I said in episode 1 that franchises to purchase are extremely unaffordable to the average person. They're highly leveraged when you get into them, and it requires an unbelievable amount of time before that franchise is going to start making money. Any business that you start requires a huge startup capital and requires years if you can survive the issues of cash flow, that you can then say, I've got something that's going to make it. I'm suggesting to you that the power of leveraged time with a nominal amount of investment is possible. The only reason I know that to be true is because I'm doing it. And the income that is presently being generated is starting to become noticeable. This is not, and I do not advocate for get-rich-quick schemes. I've never been a sucker for that stuff. I've seen my friends, I've seen dear ones, people just, I don't even know, get absolutely suckered by those deals. So I am not an advocate for get-rich-quick schemes. I'm an advocate for work hard and become successful, which eventually is going to bring in the money. And this is time, a very time-consuming business. So I like to say in the beginning, you're going to work very hard for very little. But in the end, you start to work less and start to make even more. There's a shift. I call it the shift when it switches places. And LifeWave is one of the most incredible products that no one else has, which gives us a unique position in the market. And as I look at the years ahead, and although I feel good, in fact, I just had my medical for my commercial driver's license today, and I have the blood pressure of a young man. That's what my doctor said. He said, wow, that's incredible. And I said, glad to hear that. And I told him what I'm wearing, and I told him what I'm doing for my health. And he listened, but with that consternation of, well, if it works for you, sort of thing. But I can tell you it's working for thousands of people. What we're doing with LifeWave is changing the lives of people, one patch at a time. It's creating unbelievable opportunities to go out and to offer to people hope. So, what's the topic about? Leveraging your time. What's the way you could do it? Find a product or service that's proprietary, that's unique, that gives you a unique position in the market. And that's difficult to do. But when I was introduced to LifeWave, I first of all wanted to achieve something for myself. I did want to better myself. I did want to improve my health. although I wasn't failing in any areas, there were areas of improvement that I could make. I knew that. I had started to experience what a lot of people have is called mental fog, brain fog. That's completely gone. I have to say now, at my age, having crossed the 60-yard line, I'm as sharp today, I feel, as when I was 20 years ago. So, in speaking to you here today, there's not a single note in front of me. This is straight from my heart to your heart to share with you two things: a unique product and company, and the opportunity to do something for yourself that you might not have otherwise thought to do. And in the area of second income or sidebar income, it is more important now than ever to have that in place and to work on it, and not in a way, as I said earlier, to, leap. It's not a leap of blind faith. It's not flying on a trapeze without a safety net. Your safety net for now is your main line of income. But I would suggest to you, as a sideline income starts to build, that's when you start thinking about making that huge shift. And I'm going to introduce now a friend of mine. His name is Roger, and he's very much in the same line of business as I am. And Roger, welcome to the stage here. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
Can you hear me okay, Roger?
I
Good,
do.
good. So, Roger, you and I are in the same business. We're into over the road, long distance trucking. But you have a much more challenging job than I do. Tell the folks out there what a typical work week looks like for you as you run very time sensitive freight in Canada.
Oh, that's crazy. A lot of people would say you are crazy, and their job is crazy, and I cannot do it because my supervisor says the same thing. I cannot do what you guys are doing because we're starting like today, Monday around lunch. We leave Winnipeg. We run to Saskatoon and back. It's 21 hours, about roughly a round trip because we go pin to pin. We don't stop for any breaks. Like one guy is in the bunk sleeping, the other one is driving. And so we switch that around. And that goes from Monday to Saturday morning. So 5 trips back to back. It's about 21 hours a day. So there's not much time left to spend at home with loved ones. Basically, you spend more time in a truck with your co driver than you even do with your own wife. I have never done the calculation with weekend time of if that would be more than time spending in a truck. But if you did a rough calculation with the time I'm gone from home 100 hours a week. So I not even make $10 an hour calculating my hours and giving
Right.
my
And that's
time
taking
away.
into account. Right. That's taking into account all of the hours. Of course, they only recognize those hours that you work as being hours you're paid for. But when I'm talking about trading time for dollars, there are times when you trade your time and don't get any dollars in return. And the trucking industry is full of these stories. So, in essence, today's episode, I hope will reach some of the truckers out there to say, are you really making the best use of your time? Are you content to continue to trade dollars for time? Because a few weeks ago, you had an incident in which you gave up all the time. Well, you tell the rest of it in very brief form. Tell me what happened there, because I don't think the listeners understand this.
Well, a lot of drivers are. Are you still there?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell
Can
us
you
the
hear me?
story of what happened a few weeks ago. Yes.
Uh, Okay, it was freezing up for a bit, but yeah, a couple of weeks ago. Um,
Yeah.
First of all, I was running into accident. That was a week ago, over a week ago, because of clear ice, and everything is on your own, right? And our company has very strict policies. If you, for example, hit the ditch, you keep it on wheels, you have a chance. If you flip it on the side, you're out of the door for 3 years. But back to spending time and not get paid. For example, in the wintertime, we had the shutdown in Virden, Manitoba. Roads were closed down for about 20 hours. And then it says the the famous word says for the truck driver, if the wheel don't turn, trucker don't make money. And that's just the truth. If you can't roll, there's no money to be made. So you have to spend your time out there without getting paid. There are companies out there paying their drivers, but they're very minimal. But that's the way it is. You're sitting, for example, 3 hours or 4 hours from home. There's no way to get home. There's no way to get paid because you're stuck. And if you're
Mhm.
sitting over 10, 20, 30 hours, the longest I have done is 36 hours, the time comes you need to go to the washroom. You have to think what you want to do. Everything
Mhm.
is snow. Everyone can think what you would do, but that's just the reality what truck drivers have to face.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that incident, for example, there was still some money being made, but it wasn't in the sense of you trading your time for dollars. It was you leveraging your time because you're involved in another business that works, in concert with your business. Now, you are a trucker, you do that as a main thing, but on the sideline you have another business and you're involved with LifeWave as well as I am. So in that way, to bring it forward by multiplying that time even more, it's possible, and I know what your goal is, to do this full time and be able to designate your time where you want to designate it to and not where you have to. And that's called a job. Once you have a job, somebody is demanding your time and promising to pay you for the hours that you give them. But as you said a minute ago, you're always away from home. You're always away from your loved ones. You're always in a position to not experience life in a normal sense. And even people living at home, Roger, are often stuck in the office for long hours. Again, still trading time for dollars. But I also understand and know that you know the difference of time leverage. So tell me your perspective and what your goals are to change that.
Well, that's very true. I could leverage that time if I'm stuck somewhere, making phone calls all day long, presenting to people a unique product you can't find anywhere else, and it will do amazing, amazing things. I have seen people getting out of pain in minutes. I have heard sometimes the saying it works faster than morphium, but morphium is it's okay. I have taken it too when I had a surgery. If you have gallbladder stone, pain can get very intense, and that's the time when you need a hospital for surgery and whatever. But healing is definitely not done by the hospital. But speaking about leveraging the time, I could uh, take leverage of my time, do social media posts, do engaging with people, do follow ups with people, what I have contacted before about the product. So if you have a plan B, so to speak, you always can work. And if that's not based on an office, on a location, you can do it off your phone or a computer. You can do it from everywhere where you're stuck. Like for example, if I'm stuck on a highway, I still have my phone service. I still can call whoever I want to call, or text, or do social media post, or do a go live. I even doing this while my co-driver is driving. It is all possible. It just needs the effort and the mind to make it happen, right? Because
Yeah.
nobody will do it for you. You have to do the work. If somebody is successful and you ask them, you have to do the work.
Yes, absolutely true. You've looked at other opportunities over the years, and I've talked with a lot of people. And next week's guest is going to be someone who also had tremendous success in developing his sideline income. But how unique is LifeWave and the X39 product and the patches? When you look at this, how do you see it as a part of your future?
Well, first of all, it's a very reasonable price to start. Who is drinking a coffee a day? pretty much everyone. And the money of a coffee a day, if that could help you feel better and live your life at a better potential, reverse aging, and much, much more, and sharing it with people straightforward, what you have done, what you have experienced, what the outcome is, what the company has rewarded you for it, to do that, to share it with somebody else, how the rewards are. Uh, a lot of people won't act right away. There are here and there one what will act right away, but a lot of times there's a time coming. They're right there that plan A is missing, and then a lot of times they're looking back. What did I see? What did I hear? And people come back a lot of times. They want to do what you have done and what you have experienced. It's always good to keep an open mind, to be communicatable. A lot of people on social media, I always say it this way: if somebody contacts me and just text to me, I'm not willing to go to certain steps, because if you text somebody and you give them a voice memo and they say to you, I can hear you, it's most likely a bot. It is very important to sift and sort who's interested, who's just there to pull your leg and try to do something else with you. But it is important to be clear in the communication, what you try to bring across, or what you offer for people, and what's in that for them. Can they make a living off it? Yes, they can. If they are willing to do the work,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Everybody tunes into a station called WIIFM. What's in it for me? And if you don't have a product or service that somehow benefits the other person to a significant idea, to a significant level, I should say, you have nothing. And what I didn't want in all of the opportunities I had passed by in years gone by was I did not want to compete price sensitive in a market that was saturated. For example, to say, well, we have a great soap product. Our company has the best soap on the market. Okay. Who else has a soap that's good? Who else is selling a similar product and for less? Amazon is the biggest price checker out there. You can take a product and immediately search it on Amazon and find out if it's the same and how much can I save by buying it there.
All right.
You cannot find LifeWave anywhere except being sold, distributed directly by so-called brand partners, which we are, which gives us a unique position to say there is integrity in this product. It's backed by a money back guarantee. It's backed by 80 clinical studies. It's backed by a 20-year track record in the health industry. And all of the products are unique. And they're unique from the perspective of being the most advanced technology in light therapy and a 20-year track record with distribution in more than 80 countries around the world. That's what I was looking for. In 2021, I found something I wasn't even looking for because, quite honest, I didn't think it existed, Raj. And I know you
Yep.
joined either that year or a year later. So, what compelled you to do it? Because you're the same guy out there. There are a lot of guys like us that are looking for some edge. They're looking for some way to advance themselves. What did you see in it that drew you to it?
Well, after doing long research and looking at your own wife and seeing over and over again how they have to swallow a handful of pills, and no, it's not right. It's killing organs. We never stopped researching and being experienced on high ticket products, and they're hard to sell, and finding a unique product, which there is only one company out there has the patent for it. Nobody else can have it. The company bought it for 20 years. And and seeing what was doing and getting the results, what I have done with my wife, getting her off Western medicine. She was on it for ever since she was an adult till 2 years ago. It
Mhm.
is it is more than words can say. Uh, it is just heartwarming if you can see how people don't have to swallow so many pills anymore and they're still operatable what they weren't before because they couldn't concentrate. And a lot of things would go back to brain fog as well, because if you swallow a lot of drugs, you're not yourself. And
Yeah.
that's different over here. I not too long ago I did my own experience and did the life blood analysis, and we did about 20 to 30 minutes after just putting X39 on. We looked at it again, and the lady said the brain fog is gone, what showed before in the blood. And that's pretty unique. And in half an hour, you have clear ability to think and to make decisions. It is more than words can speak. So,
Yeah. More than words can say, as the song goes. Um, so we're near the bottom of our time here, but I want to make a few more points, and I want to share this as a personal testimony because it happened today. Commercial drivers, as you know, Raj, and you're a few years behind me in age, but when you cross the 60-yard line in life, you're going to be tested every single year for your commercial class one license. You're going to be tested, as I am and many other guys. And I have to say, between last year and this year, I was concerned. Was there going to be anything noticeable? Either way, I certainly wasn't prepared if there was going to be anything negative. But today I completed both the eye test portion and the in person visit with the doctor to check your heart, your lungs, and your blood pressure. That's a biggie. Because a friend of mine was he's 15 years younger, and he got hit with a blood pressure warning sign. And if that isn't under control, you don't drive a commercial vehicle.
no, I did my one
So
last
I
year.
go see, right, yeah, and you get them, you're doing them probably every 5 years, once every 5 years right now. About that?
Yes.
Yeah. And you get older, you do them once a year. So I went to go see I did the eye portion test at the MPIC clinic. And I said, so how did I do? She says, 20/20 vision. I said, wow. Last year, there was almost an indicator that I might have slipped a little bit. This year, I got 20/20 vision on my test. And I said, holy moly. I says, that's the power of the patch, because we know that our patches have very clear testimony from people about improved vision. So that was win number one. Now I go to see the doctor. That's the big portion where he does all of what he does. He did my blood pressure, and this was his word. He goes, wow. I said, so wow, what? Oh, that can be used both ways. He said, your blood
Yep.
pressure is fantastic. He says, you got the blood pressure of a young guy. I says, well, isn't that good to know? And I shared a little bit. I said, here, this is what I'm wearing. And I know many other people, I could give you their names. They could tell you their own story, that their blood pressure has dropped by simply putting on our product, this wearable technology. So talk about two wins in one day. But we are talking about LifeWave, but we are talking about money makers. What's your opinion of LifeWave as a moneymaker, in your words?
A life event as a moneymaker. Well, this will be my last here. Anyways, I'm running out of time here, but I have never seen a company, a compensation plan paying so well and so quick when you sign up and you share it. And normally you work like crazy at the beginning and there's a small portion. And as you build bigger, it gets more too. But it's some way over here too, but I have never seen a compensation plan what pays you the volume all the way to the infinity. If, for example, you have a guy 15 levels below you and he buys something, you got the same amount of volume than he gets. Uh, Being introducing him you got another bonus on top. But looking at the volume all the way from the bottom up, and you see it generating there, and you see the cycle bonus coming in, it is just the motivation to keep on moving forward. And then if you know the motivation from the CEO, how many homes you want to reach, there you go. Let's go.
Yeah. And today, April 29th, and I know you got to run here because you're on the clock and you're getting close to your destination where things change. April 29th marks the beginning of an 18-week campaign right now in which LifeWave is not still doing what it always does, sell a great product, build a business, and make money. We're actually, the contest has opened up, and it's not a contest. You just simply earn it. There are unlimited number of people right now that will be in the Dominican Republic this fall as a result of working with LifeWave. And there are 8 different ways in which you can earn that trip. But this company not only pays as well as it does, and it pays well, it also rewards you for the effort that you put in. And they have put no ceiling cap on how many people are going to the Dominican Republic this fall. Roger, are you going to the Dominican Republic? Because I can tell you I am, and so are a lot of friends.
I and my wife, we will go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you sharing it from the perspective of a trucker, because we got a lot of truckers out there that are looking to make an exit off of trucking. And what are you going to retire to? I've always said truckers retire to probably 2 things, a broken truck and a broken body. Well, the truck we can't do anything about. Our patches are not known to regenerate an old truck into a new one, but we can regenerate your body and the friends of yours and the loved ones of yours. And in sharing this great product, LifeWave is truly a money maker. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon, Raj. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, that was episode 2. We're just getting started here. Honestly, folks, there's so many opportunities out there, but we want to talk about the concept of money makers, a product or service that makes money, and the people that are making it. So we're going to bring some really exciting guests on the show and talk about it, because I dare say there's not one of you out there. Well, that's not true. There's going to be some of you out there that just don't need any money. You got enough. You're doing well. I get it. And you know what? This business of the business in general of doing direct selling is not a business for everybody, but anybody can do it. And I assure you, at LifeWave, we give you all the tools to do it. Doesn't matter what your education is. And right now, starting today, this is my personal appeal. I'm looking for 2 people, just 2 people that will work closely with me. I will give 100% of my time to these 2 people in the hopes that you will do what I'm doing and what others are doing. And I guarantee you, if you're willing to do this, the lifestyle that you think you've been wanting, the lifestyle that you have been wanting, is within your grasp. I want to encourage you to reach out to me through this podcast. You know how to get a hold of me and tell me you're interested in more information. And I'm not going to slam you with a fire hose. I'm going to feed you with a garden hose. You're going to get some information on which you can take the initiative to investigate it further and see if this is right for you. But that's a wrap for episode 2 of Money Makers. Come back next Monday, and I promise you, we're going to have a really dynamic show. As a colleague and friend and someone who's very successful in this business is going to share some insights. And what does it mean to be a money maker? Because I maintain that money is important. It touches every part of your life. And there are things that are money makers, and there are people that are money makers. I want to introduce you to them. So as always, from where I am to where you are, from my heart to your heart, God bless you. And we'll talk to you again soon on things that matter. Take care.